So according to this law, so we have three systems A, B and C. So if two of the system, that is system A and B, that is in thermal equilibrium. So let me just clear it by some figure here. Suppose these three are representing three different systems. As you know, system is what? System is the collection of atoms, molecules or ions. Simple, this is three bodies, three systems we have A, B and C. We are saying that these two bodies that are in thermal equilibrium means there is no variation in the macroscopic variables, just like the name I have taken with time here. And also B and C are in thermal equilibrium means here what it mean here, if A and B are thermal equilibrium means all the macroscopic properties of A and B are same. And if B and C are at thermal equilibrium, again all the macroscopic properties of B and C remain same with time continuously. The variation is also in such a way that will be remains with the same with the time. So here this law is saying whenever the two systems are separately in thermal equilibrium, then these two systems C and A will be automatically in thermal equilibrium. Means it is just saying that there will be whenever we are talking about the thermal equilibrium of these systems separately, then this will also make C to the A in thermal equilibrium. So one quantity that is always constant in this one, and that is called the temperature. So it means that the temperature of all these three systems was same, and whenever this term will be same, then that time all systems will be known as in thermal equilibrium. Simple. So I think this is clear, very clear. How can we understand whether the two systems are in thermal equilibrium or not? So that is given by the quantity, that is temperature. So zeroth law of thermodynamics is giving us the information and you can say the definition of temperature. So temperature is that physical quantity that define whether the systems are in thermal equilibrium or not. So if the two systems have the same temperature, they will always be in thermal equilibrium. If their temperatures will change, that will be different, and they will never be in thermal equilibrium, whether the other all quantities even at constant point. Like the mass we have just asked later, previously we have discussed mass, composition, volume, pressure. So whether they all are changing, but if temperature is not changing, then with no change in temperature, system will remain in thermal equilibrium. So this is now the concept of the zeroth law. Simple. It is giving us more precise definition of thermal equilibrium as well as temperature. So it means two bodies are simple at a constant temperature, same temperature, they will be in thermal equilibrium. So this is, I think, clear. And again, this is the definition of temperature that I was saying in chapter number 11. That is also clear from the zeroth law very easily. Now next one, after the just discussion on the thermal equilibrium and zeroth law and also the definition of temperature, the next topic that we have to discuss, that is heat, internal energy and work. Very small things that we have to know first of all, and some of them you know already. We have seen that or we have listened the name even in thermal properties of matter. So first topic, that is here heat. So let's see what is now first of all heat. I think this one is not clear. So and what we have, okay. So heat, I think students, in last topic number of definitions of the heat to make you understand I have given already. But again, if you will see the heat, that is energy that flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. So this we can see the flow that is only because of the change in temperature. So whenever the temperature will be constant, then that time no heat will flow from one body to another body. Whenever there will be the temperature difference, only then the heat will start to flow. So we can see very more basic topic is temperature than the heat. So heat is a form of energy simply that flows from one hotter body to colder body. That is, I think, clear. Next one, after this, let's see what is the internal energy. So internal energy of the system, that is total energy possessed by the system due to its molecular motion and its molecular configuration. So as a system is made up of large number of molecules, ions, and that molecule or ion will configure some position, that will have some configuration. So due to its configuration, obviously it will have the potential energy. It will acquire some position, it will acquire some configuration, then that will give it some potential energy. And if you will see the molecules that are possessing motions, like they are doing translational motion, rotational motion, vibrational motions they are doing. So due to all these kind of motions, system will have the kinetic energy. So it means that we can see there are two types of internal energies that are possible. The first due to the configuration of the molecules, that is the potential energy. The second due to motion of the molecules, that is called kinetic energies. So if the sum of potential and kinetic energy we will see, that is known as total internal energy. So that is the inherent properties, or you can say simple, the internal energy that is stored in the system due to the molecular motion or molecular configuration. And we can just write down now internal energy by U. We are denoting it by capital U, and that capital U we can write, this is addition of or just internal potential energy and internal kinetic energy, that is called now total energy. Clear? Next one, if you will see in the case of ideal gas or perfect gas. So as ideal gas or perfect gas, we assume that their intermolecular forces are 0. So if that will be 0, then that time there will be no configuration of the system, because all the molecules in perfect gas, they are always in the motion. So if they are always in the motion, then potential energy will not occupied by them. So this will be 0. Whole of the internal energy in the perfect gas and ideal gas, that will be only due to the kinetic energies, and system is always in motion. Clear? And if in real gas you will see, so in real gas we cannot neglect intermolecular forces, and due to intermolecular forces they will obviously configure some positions, and due to the position they will configure some potential energy, and always it will, a system will have kinetic energy and potential energy both. So we can see now in comparison to the ideal gas, real gas have less kinetic energy always, because it is also possessing some kind of potential energies. Now next one, if you will see what is the work done. So obviously I think the work, I don't have to tell you what is the work when your system is doing or transferring some kind of energy from one place to another place under the force, that is known as simple work. Next one, if you will see the internal energy of the any of the body or internal energy, that should be clearly understood by the points that are given just here. I will just read the points. First of all, listen them. After that I will explain them. The first point is internal energy of a system is a macroscopic state variable of the system, and the internal energy of a given mass of the gas depends on its state described by the specified value of pressure, volume and temperature. So what is first of all, students, macroscopic variable or what is microscopic variable? So macroscopic variable are those that is defining whole of the system. Microscopic are those that is defining one of the molecule, means internal system, that is one molecule or one electron. At the micro level, whatever the properties the system has, it is defining that. At the whole of the system, whatever the property it has, that is called its macroscopic things. So if we have to understand about any system at macroscopic level, at whole of the system, suppose this is the system as a whole you have to study, then this system will possess some of the temperature, pressure, volume and internal energy. So these are all called the macroscopic variable. In microscopic variable, if you will start to study the again a lot of things are there. So here first of all we are here in thermodynamics studying the things that are at macroscopic level, means for whole of the system we are discussing here, okay? Not for the particular molecule we are studying. for the particular molecule we will start to study even in kinetic theory also, or in next chapter. So I think first this one is clear, topic is clear. The next one here, internal energy of a system that does not depend on the state of the system, means in which state the system is, like system is in solid state, liquid state or gas state. So in solid state we know all the molecules that are arranged in regular array. So or if they are crystalline solid or amorphous solid, if they are, then that time also they have the proper arrangement, means the configuration if you will see that is more precise, more ordered in comparison to the liquid. They will have more configuration, more position. So potential energy that is very high there in the case of solid, but the molecules that are at a particular position, they are not free to move. So if they are not free to move, their kinetic energy will start to be less there. So in the solid state, kinetic energy is less, potential is high, but whenever we are going to move from solid to liquid, then that time the particle will start, so molecule will start to get freedom for the movement. So it means their kinetic energy start to increase, and that will be increased even in more in the gaseous system. So that is depending also on the state of the system. Next one here, in thermodynamics if you will see, the kinetic energy of the system as a whole is real, is not simple relevant, means really obviously it is not relevant, that is not possible. Next now after this the discussion, I think internal energy property is clear. So let's see the next thing, that is two ways. There are two ways that is changing the state and hence the internal energy of the gas, means by the two ways the system state that will change. So we can change the state by two methods. So let's see what are the two methods and how the internal energy are also changing there. So the first method is that to heat a cylinder containing the gas, keeping the cylinder in contact with the body at higher temperature, means you have to just heat a cylinder to the higher temperature, means temperature should be varied. Now some heat that will be flows from obviously hotter body of the gas to on account of the temperature difference. So that it means that in this case the internal energy of the gas that will starts to increase here. So I think students you are not getting what I just want to tell you. So the my thinking is that here actually what I just wanted to tell, we have to take two cylinders. One cylinder we have to heat, second cylinder we have to keep in contact of the first one. So due to the contact, the heating of the first cylinder, its temperature will start to increase. Obviously if we are providing the heat, it means we are changing the temperature. So due to the higher temperature and the second one cylinder is at lower temperature, we keep them in contact. So we know that if the temperature difference will be there and two bodies are in contact, then system has always to be in thermal equilibrium. So thermal equilibrium will be set up whenever the temperature will be constant. So to make the temperature constant, the heat will start to flow from higher to lower, just a higher temperature to lower temperature body. So if the heat will start to flow from higher to lower temperature body, then obviously there will be a heat flow, and due to that heat flow, the internal energy of the system that will start to increase. The increase is there reason because the kinetic energy of the system that will change due to the change in temperature there. So always we can say due to the variation in temperature, there is also variation in internal energy. So we can change the internal energy by giving heat to the system. The second thing is possible to push the piston of a cylinder containing the gas in upward direction, then some work will be done by the gas, due to which the internal energy of the system that will again change, that will start to decrease. Means if we will start to expand or compress the gas by just applying, by just using some piston, in that case also the system's heat will start to change, or internal energy will start to change, because whenever if we will expand the gas, then due to in expansion the intermolecular separation will change, and due to intermolecular separation the relative position will change, and due to obviously that one the internal energy that will be changed, that will start to decrease there. So it is also depending on their configuration here, means how the work is done. So under pressure, under temperature, in both way we can just change the internal energy, or in another word we can say by just doing some work and by just providing some heat, we can change the internal energy. So internal energy can be changed by two methods, by doing some work or by just supplying some heat to the system, we can change it. So conclusion is, I think, clear here. Whatever I have concluded by this one, this internal energy you can see that is related to heat and work. These are two methods to change the internal energy. So by supplying heat or by doing work, we can change this internal energy very easily, separately. Even if both the things you will do at a single place, then again, like you are using piston, you are also supplying the heat, then that time very fastly, or because if whatever the you are showing, like if you are compressing the gas, then that time internal energy will increase, and if you are expanding the gas, then that time it will decrease there. So students, our next topic, that is now the thermodynamic state and process. So what is the thermodynamic state here? First, as a thermodynamic variable, you have seen number of times it there the name is came, that is macroscopic variable and microscopic variable. So macroscopic variables like pressure, temperature, volume, these all, or composition and mass. So variables that defines any thermodynamic system, or we can understand the system by which of the you can say the variables that are known as macroscopic variables. And if thermodynamic state we will see, so the equation that is relating these or that is establishing a relationship between these all thermodynamic variables, that is known as thermodynamic state. So like for example, we have an expression that is Pv is equal to mu RT. So here we can see this equation is relating all thermodynamics variables to each other, and that's why this is called the thermodynamic state function. Okay. The next one after this, the topic is thermodynamic process. So what is now the process? As you know, thermodynamics is the study of the transportation of energy, heat energy from one system to another system. So while just transmitting heat from one body to another, a number of processes we will consider, or number of stages will occur there. So like in the thermodynamic process, we can say this is take place where some changes occur in the state of the thermodynamic system. That is thermodynamic parameters, whenever they will changes with the state of the or changes with time, then that time the process thermodynamic process occurs. So simple, as we know what is the concept of process. So the concept of process is that whenever the thermodynamic variables starts to change with time, then we can say our system is going into some process. Here if we will see the thermodynamic processes, then following some important thermodynamic processes we have, like the first thermodynamic process we have, that is isothermal process. Isothermal process, only the initial names I am writing. Isothermal process is what? This is the process where which occurs at constant temperature. This temperature remains constant, but all other the factors like pressure, volume, that is changing here. The second one, that is called adiabatic process. So what is now the adiabatic process? This process occurs whenever no heat leaves or enters the thermodynamic system, means no exchange of heat takes place, then that time the process is known as the adiabatic process. All other things will change here, like temperature will change, pressure will change, volume will change. Next one, the third type of process we have, that is called isobaric process. So what is now the isobaric process? In the case of isobaric process, temperature remains constant, means this is the process during which the temperature of the system remains constant. The fourth process we have, that is the isochoric process. So this is now the process in which the volume remains constant, means whole of the thermodynamic system, other all variables will change but volume remains constant. So these are the basic four processes, that is or we are also calling it isovolumic process. So these are the processes through which we can understand the thermodynamic system, or how the transportation of heat is taking place, why the variables are changing. So within we can divide the process into four parts. Also one more thing is here in the process, that is called quasi-static process. So whenever the thermodynamic process will take place in part, then each small part is known as quasi-static process. So students, I think brief about the chapter thermodynamics, that is very clear to you. Only here the system, equilibrium, very small definitions, that is very important for this chapter we have discussed, and that is all clear. So let's end our class here with this discussion.